documents that I've been working on. Here we go. Are we going over the SOP or the document itself?
The document itself, so the leadership guide first.
All right.
Beautiful stuff. Alrighty. So, everyone here, I'm assuming
Who are
knows.
you?
Who am I?
Who are you?
Yeah, let's start with introduction.
I'm Audax. I got an alcohol problem. No.
Ooh.
I'm Audax, your 1-3 lead for the weapons squad. Welcome to my TED Talk on leadership. Alright, so I'm assuming everyone understands radios, both short range and long range. Yes or no?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah? Everyone good with additional channels on both?
Oh.
Awesome. If not, they're on the leadership guide right at the top. Short range first and long range after. Tells you all the buttons you need for everything you might want to do with them. It's nice and easy. Looking past that, we'll then go down to radio frequencies. These are passes around both this HQ and they'll be at the FOB every time you spawn into an operation. The same as what they are in this document, but we'll go through them. So your HQ element, so your 1.6 and 1.7 are going to be on 160 for their short range. And then for long range, they're going to be on 60. And 1.7, as the platoon medics, was going to be on 99 on their additional. So all leadership is on 60 within the platoon. So your 1 lead, your 1-2 lead, your 1-3 lead. Both your kilos, sniper and spotter, and then your team leaders as well. For all of those teams, they were going to be on 60. Either on their short range additional for team leaders if they don't have a long range, or on their long range if they have one. And then for your squads, you have 1-1 on 110, you have 1-2 on 120, and 1-3 on 130. And then within those teams, your medics should be also on 99. They have a clear net to the platoon medic, rather than having to go through different tiers of leadership to get there. Your Zulus or your JTACs, they're going to be on 160 short range as well, with a additional 76 for just intercom between the two. And then long range is going to be 75.1 to 4, depending on what they're doing and how many pilots there are. And then pilots have their own intercom, and then they're on the same radio frequencies as the JTACs. Everyone happy with radio frequencies?
Yeah.
They're there if you need them. They're on the Discord as well, and then yeah, they're posted around everywhere, so everyone should be happy with them. Below that, we then have the call signs and the naming scheme. So it goes through what each call sign is, what you're then going to say on radio, and what you should have on CTAB. So when you load up into a mission, your marker on CTAB will be Alpha 1-1, whatever armor sets it to. So just make sure if you're the squad lead, or if you're a team leader, remind your squad lead to change that to what it is on here. So it should be S16 for 16, S17 for 17. So those two should be in different squads, so everyone can see both of them on CTAB. If they're in the same squad, you can only see the platoon leader on CTAB. You won't be able to see where the platoon medic is if they split up and the medic starts to help someone else. So it's crucial to have them on different squads, and then they both have a CTAB marker that everyone can see. And then again, S11 for your assault squad in 1-1. So I've set yours to that now, Red. You can do it in Zeus. So if the Zeuses see that they're not set, feel free to jump on and edit that yourself. And then in debrief, just give a reminder to that squad lead. And then for me, it's 1-3. Pretty much whatever your squad lead has on their arm is what their call sign is. And Kilo for snipers, and Z1 or 2, depending on what JTAC was on. And then for radio comms, you're not going to say Sabre 1, 1, or Sabre 1. You're going to say just 1, and then this is 6 or whatever your call sign is. So you're saying that last number. So for me to red, it'll be 1, this is 3. If I was platoon lead, it'll be 6, 1, this is 6. Just shortens that down rather than saying Sabre 1-6 or Sabre 1 or Sabre 6 or whatever. Everyone happy with that?
Okay.
Obviously, if you're the team lead, you can then hop on and say, this is 1 Bravo or 1 Alpha, depending on what fire team you're in. Just so we know that you're not the squad lead. And then give us a sit rep of where your squad lead is, if he's down, if he's having radio issues, stuff like that.
All right.
Below that, you then have the aircraft call signs. So if you look on your C tab and you have all these different things you're not really sure on, like striker, defender, stuff roaming around in the air, you can reference that and see what kind of airframe it is. All of these call signs and comms stuff you also have on a comms card. If you ace interact with yourself, you might have to be not in a chair for that, and then you can see a comms card. You can open that. It is kind of blurry, but it has the key information on there. Pretty visible. So if you're ever in an op, you need to quickly reference it. It's there. Below that, you then have a naming scheme for loads of different map markers. So your reference points there in their abbreviated form, which you're going to see on the map, and then their definition, or what they stand for. So your assault lane is just AL. You got blocking positions, casualty collection points, containment checkpoints. So for that, if we look on the map and we head over to the east, we have a whole pretty much op laid out. So if you scroll all the way out, we'll start out and then we'll go in. Outside, you have in purple all your air stuff. So you have your IPs, your flight lines, your HLZs are in purple as well. If you scroll in then a little bit, you have all your POIs outside the objective that could be positions of interest. Where enemies are, so they're in red with POI 0, 1, 2, 3, and then up to however many you need. So we're going to keep that standardized as 3 numerical numbers after the POI. I'll make a list of the standardization for the map markers stuff and add it somewhere. So like all the air stuff is in purple, all the enemy stuff is in red, all the ground stuff is in blue, all the stuff on objective like phase lines, LOA, stuff like that is going to be in white. I'll make a list of that because I haven't currently got one. So yeah, scrolling in from there, you then have on the right hand side you have a fob jackal. So that's where aircraft can go back and refuel because it's closer than coming back here or going back to the airfield. So if you have them in an up, they'll be marked in blue as well. And that's where aircraft can go refuel, rearm, and repair. Just slightly closer, so I haven't got to go all the way back to base. If we then head down, I'll run you through the start of the op to the end of the op. So if you have HLZ Matilda, all LZs are going to be named with female names. So you know they're HLZs or LZs, DZs, and yeah, stuff like that. It's going to be named like that using that map marker. And then from there you have your RPs going to your ORP. So your RPs are just rally points. So as you pass through them, your team lead will call up to your squad lead saying Alpha team passing RP 01 or RP 02. And then your squad lead will then call up to the platoon lead. This is 1 passing RP 1 or 01. You also have that LDA. LDAs aren't marked, they're just visually there. You know what you're going to do when you get there. We haven't covered it in any training so far, really. So once that's covered in training, everyone will understand that a bit more. But yeah, no need to mark them specifically. You can pretty evidently see they're there. Just try and have an RP either side of that. So if you do get into contact, you can fall back to an RP, whatever side you're on. From there then, you have your ORP. So that's your objective rally point. It's the final bit before you get to your objective. So that's where you'll have your element hold while you either do your leader's recon or have ISR do a little final scan of anything around. And then, yeah, so leader's recon, that would be when you take most of the elements of your leadership, leaving 1 leadership member, so usually the platoon medic, since you don't have a platoon sergeant, so just leave the platoon medic to look after everyone. You'll take all your squad leads and your JTACs and go to your SVF position. you'll have a look at your last cover and concealment, which is the LCC over here, and then your BP positions. So your BP South and your BP West. BP is blocking point. So the BPs are blocking MSR Luke to the west, and BP South is blocking MSR Duke to the south. So nothing should really be getting through them when you're assaulting the objective. SBF, obviously, your support by fire position, where your weapon squad's going to be, yeah, looking in that grid. Once you've done your leadership recon, you'll come back to your OOP. You'll check that when you're on your leadership recon, you'll check that those positions are all okay. You have good eyes on whatever you need to see. You have good concealment for your LCC. Stuff like that. So yeah, before you go out, you'll give a Gotwa. So my brain. So it's a 5-point plan of where you're going, who you're taking with you, how long you're going to be there for or be gone for, what the element that's at the ORP should do if you don't return within that time, and then if you get in contact or if they get in contact, what actions are you going to take?
It's called a METC, I think. METTC.
That too, yeah. That's the one. Yeah, you'll give that to your platoon medic as you step off, or that next highest leadership you leave. If you haven't got a platoon medic, you leave one of the squad leaders, or rely on one of the team leaders. Depends how many people you have. And yeah, when you come back, disseminate that information that you've gathered. So if you've done any recon and you need to move positions around, feel free to do that. Just then transfer it downwards. Let your squad leaders know. Squad leaders, let your team leaders know if that is something that's going to affect you. Stuff like that. When you're in that ORP and not heading off as team leaders, make sure all your guys have got 360 security. Stuff like that. Double check everything's good. You've got the equipment you need before you step off. I'll go through a whole list of what you need to do through the mission in a second, but we'll just go through map markers at the moment and what they mean. So yeah, LCC, last cover and concealment. So that's usually the last point your assault team will get to after being released to the from the ORP. Your assault team will hold at the LCC until the SBF initiate with fire on the usually the first couple of TRPs. Once yeah, they've initiated there, you can then start moving towards that first phase line alpha. Phase lines we use to break up an objective. So you're going to be holding at the first phase line until your platoon lead or highest leadership lets you know you can continue. Phase lines are there, so the SBF can shift off of that phase line onto the next one, so you're not got friendly fire there. Also to make sure that all the buildings in that phase line are clear before you then move on. So you know a whole area clear, you can move past that area, don't have to worry about it as much. Obviously, still have some guys around checking rear as you push on, in case anyone comes out of any tunnels or anything like that you haven't seen. Within that objective, we have 2 assault lanes. So this is set on having 2 assault squads. So you have assault lane for 1-1 and assault lane for 1-2, marked with the blue lines. So it depends how you want to split it up. You can split it up left and right, or you can just bound as one group. For this, they've been split into different assault lanes, looking down the roads and stuff like that. So yeah, as you get to that first phase line, you'll call up to platoon lead, reach phase line alpha. Once both squads have reached phase line alpha, platoon lead will then call 1-3 to shift fire. So then they'll shift fire off of their first TRP, which is TRP 01 in purple. TRP, target reference point. So it's just a pre-designated target for mainly the weapons team, any mortars, any stuff like that, any fires, kind of support. Yeah, they'll then move on to their next TRPs. And then when they call that they're set on the new TRPs and aren't firing at the first one anymore, then you'll be released by the platoon lead to shift onto those buildings that are numbered until you get to phase line Bravo. Again, when you're clearing buildings, do it within either a fire team or a squad, depending on your numbers. If you've got a squad of 9 guys, you don't need to pile 9 guys into a 1-story building. You can just do a fire team in there. Just make sure people aren't going off individually and doing that. With buildings, once you've cleared the building, call it up to your squad lead. Say, this is take etch. Red building 11 is clear, or building 1-1 is clear. He'll then call up to platoon, say building 1-1 is clear. Platoon will then acknowledge that. They'll know that building's clear, and then they can work their way through. So if you don't hear a building being called out and you haven't cleared it, or if you've cleared it and they haven't heard it, and you get to phase line Bravo, they'll be a bit concerned, like, why has that building not been called as clear? They'll then double check. If you haven't cleared it, go back and clear it. Just makes everything a lot easier. Make sure you know what you've cleared, stuff like that. Any other markers in that objective? LOA. That's your limit of advance. You don't need to push past that. You're not supposed to push past that. You're holding at that line until you get told to do something else. That's all the markers in there. Any questions on any of those markers? Take the science as a no. Cool.
No, no, really, it's going to be trial and error, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all of these markers are on that list. Yeah, I'll say, like I said, I'll write a list of what color different markers should be, what kind of mark they should be. But it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm recording this anyway, so it's on the video. If you need to come back, reference this map. It's all there. Going on from that, then pull my document back up. Some of the things I haven't pointed out on that map. You have a video, so just where you leave your vehicles, stuff like that. CCPs as well. They would be set up on here. That's where your platoon medic's going to be. You can have multiple through the objective. You can add more while you're at the objective. So you'd probably have one near your last cover and concealment. If anyone gets taken out on their assault to the first phase line, you can drag them back to the CCP there. Then you'll probably have a first CCP within phase line Alpha and Bravo. Probably building 14 or 15. Something like that, which we'll then use for the next couple of phase lines. Shift one up. That's where your platoon medic will stay. That's where if you have any casualties, bring them back to there. Don't get your squad medic to work on them fully where you are. Bring them back to the CCP. Then your squad medic can get released back to you for any like little minor things, and they can then work on anyone immediately on your position, and let the platoon medic deal with anyone serious back at the CCP. So not bunkering you down because you've waiting for the medic to deal with stuff. So yeah, pretty much most of that is just making sure that your guys know where they need to be and make sure they're doing what they need to be doing. So yeah, again, clearing buildings, make sure everyone's together. If they're not, tell them as your role as leadership. And then yeah, just communicating, making sure there's situational awareness for everyone. Moving on from that, we then have, so on the leadership guide, there's an example of holding at a phase line and then what the radio calls would be for that, and then why they do it. So again, lifting and shifting fires. Below that, we have signals, smoke and flare. So you have red smoke, red flares is for an enemy position. So that's usually JTAC's going to be using these. Obviously, leadership on the document for loadouts, you should be carrying 1 or 2 of each color smoke, apart from orange. So yeah, you have red for red. Green is for your friendly forces. Blue is going to be for your RPs, your CCPs, or LZs, if any of those need marking. So say if you're in contact, you need to rally at RP 3, but it's a whole load of chaos going on. People don't know where it is. Chuck a blue smoke down. Same for CCPs. If you're making a makeshift CCP, you haven't got time to mark up map, just chuck a blue smoke down. And then LZs as well, for when helicopters are coming in. JTACs will usually throw that down. Yellow you've got for Seaburn and IEDs. Again, this is transferring over to chem lights as well. So you can use chem lights for these. If you come across any IEDs or chemical weapons, chuck down a yellow smoke, flare it off, or chem light, whatever is required for that. Purple, it's your Mascal. So medics are all carrying purple smoke, platoon medic carrying purple smoke, and then leadership should also be carrying purple smoke. You don't know who's going to go down the team to who's going to need it. Mascal then, yeah, pretty obvious. Mass casualties, I think it's 50 or 25%. Anyone know? Off the top of their head.
50.
50.
Depends.
That's the one. Yeah.
It depends on the size of your element.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
For example, if you're on a 3-man team, one going down is technically a mass.
Yeah. Yeah, a sizable force
So
of your
a
team.
Mascal is technically any. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio with medics. Medics are trained to handle 3 people at one time. If you have more casualties than medics, that is a Mascal.
Cool. Awesome. Alright, so then after that you got white for your concealment, obviously, and then orange for your JTAC strikes. So if you see an orange smoke, don't be near it, pretty much. Yeah, we'll call it up to your platoon lead and get the aircraft to wave off. That's also why JTACs are listing on 60, so they can hear any immediate things that have to go through platoon lead. Below that, you've got your ACE reports. So both squad lead and team leads should be getting these back regularly. So team leads, after like most pieces of contact, when it's died down, just get an ACE report back. Your team lead, your squad lead will then call that up to you. Then if you already have it ready, you don't have to then ask after your squad lead has asked you. You already have it ready. Just send it up the chain. Make sure you know what all of these mean. Make sure your team knows what all of these mean. So then if you hear one, you know what it means. You know how to send up the chain, what you need to be doing to rectify the issue. Obviously, if you're in yellow, red, or black, let your platoon lead know. More seriously for red and black, but obviously yellow is just a good reminder to that platoon lead as well. Especially for ammo. If you're on 50% ammo and you've only done a quarter of the op, it's a pretty good reminder to platoon lead to start looking at getting a resupply in. Everyone happy with those?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, make sure you're getting both 2 kind of reports back. You're getting both the medical and the ammo. So if someone says a green, make sure it means injuries and ammo. Because you hear people still saying green when they're near the end of the op. And obviously they're not on ammo unless they haven't fired a single shot.
If you're down 1 mag, you're automatically amber. So keep that in mind.
Not sure.
Green means you're fully set.
Well, we've got blue on here, just so to disseminate that.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
That color means you're fully set. I'm still on my first mag.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, we got green for 100%.
Change the mag, you're automatically amber.
Oh, we've got blue for 75% ammo. Just so it disseminates that.
In the United States military.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Just in here, we've got that separate. Just so you can see that, like, yeah, ammo's. Otherwise, yeah, it's a bit
Either
wonky.
way, if you hear me say amber instead of yellow, that's what I mean.
Gotcha.
I'm not green, I'm not blue, whatever.
Yeah, got you. Below that, you've got your Orbat. That's on the Discord. It's on all the roles. It's when you chose your role. So yeah, try and stick to that. Stick to those colours for the fire teams. If you can try and keep your medic inside the blue colour, because they're not they're going to stick with that fire team as opposed to be a separate element, right? They're your squad medic. They're sticking with the squad. Their main role isn't particularly medicing. Their main role is still fighting with that squad. That's what you have the platoon medic for, to come deal with anything massive. That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, succession of command. So if your platoon lead goes down, or you've got a lot of team leaders here, so if your squad leads go down, you then need to step up. So if the squad lead goes down, it will be your Bravo team lead. So whatever Bravo team leads we've got here. We got Etch is one. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's right. You're taking my spot if I go down.
Yeah, that's it so far. And Daniel's, you're looking at being a team lead as well. So it might appeal to you as well if you're Bravo team lead or Alpha team lead. Depends what you choose. But yeah, it'll go Bravo and then Alpha second. So because Bravo is going to be mainly be at the back because they've got the medic. But again, it depends on the situation. If you have Alpha in contact, you need Bravo to push around and then sweep through. They'll then be doing most of the assaulting. Yeah, it all just depends on the situation. But yeah, Bravo team lead, you're going to be stepping up first. So you'll get on radio, you'll call back to 6, saying, hey, my squad lead's down. This is one Bravo stepping up. You'll give a set rep of your squad. So if it's just your squad leads down, just say that. If there's more people down, if you need to call Mascal, do that. Let them know where you are as well. So if you take this objective, for example, your this is 1 Bravo, this is 6. No, sorry. 6, this is 1 Bravo. We're in building 28. The squad leader's down. Have an additional man down too. Taking fire from building 47 and 46. It just gives them a quick situation report on where you are, what casualties you've got, and what's currently happening with you. So they can quickly adjust if they need to send some support over or stuff like that. Then make sure everyone else in your team is all good as well. But if your squad lead goes down, make sure your Alpha team is good. Make sure your Alpha team knows that your squad lead is down if you're with your squad lead and your Alpha team somewhere else. Stuff like that. Platoon level, if your platoon lead goes down, it will go to 1-3, and then 1-1, then 1-2. That's because 1-3 is going to be out of the fight, so they have the most ability to then control everyone. They have the observation over everyone, rather than if you're giving it to 1-1 straight away, and 1-1's in a massive firefight, they don't have time to look at the map, check where everyone is, stuff like that. 1-3 is more available in that sense. And they can call their own shift fires once the other squads have called their phase lines.
So it's 1-6. Wait, do we have a platoon sergeant?
No, not currently.
Okay, right.
We might look at getting one in when we got more numbers to then fill that role. But at the current point in time, we don't really need one. Haven't got the numbers to have one.
I mean, I don't really think we need one at all. The way we have it set up is pretty good. We get more numbers. We just add another fucking platoon. And,
yeah, we'll see.
Have bigger scale battles.
And yeah, so we go 1-3, 1-1, 1-2, and then finally a sniper team. And then if sniper team's got lead, something's gone very wrong there. But it could happen. So fire team level as well. So if you as a fire team leader goes down, make sure before you step off, you've got someone to step up in case you go down. Whether that be your grenadier or your auto rifleman or your breacher if you're in Alpha. Try not to make the medic your second. Obviously they've got other things to be doing. And yeah, make sure they step up. Squad leads as well. So squad lead, if your fire team lead goes down, make sure you're calling up for whoever's next. And then fire team leaders, make sure you're make aware to your squad lead before you step off as well, who's going to be stepping up after you. Obviously you've got set roles, so you can set it once and then you just have that for however many ops. Just makes them, you can then mold them into a fire team lead if they want to be one. Just opens up the roles as well. If you're not there, they could step up easily. Just stuff like that. Yeah, succession of leadership goes for if they go down or if they're not there. If you don't have a squad lead for that op, then your fire team lead will step up as squad lead. Obviously, stay in the fire team lead slot and just work it from there. Your loadout regulations are going to be slightly different to the standard infantry. If you look on that document that's linked, it will tell you all the smokes you need. That's pretty much the only difference. Other than carrying some ammo for your auto rifleman. So everyone in leadership roles should be carrying at least 400 rounds for their 249s. So either 200 round box mags or 400 round box mags. And then your different color smokes. You should still be pretty light after that. So again, you can feel free to carry whatever else you deem necessary. And you get access to a rangefinder and binos, which everyone else doesn't. Other than that, kits are pretty standard, so you don't add extra weight, really. Again, responsibilities and roles. So platoon leader, it's going to be making all the map markings at the start of the op, adjusting them as you do your recon, either through ISR before you step off, or once you're at the ORP, doing your leader's recon, adjusting them. Making sure they're all okay, making sure everyone below you knows your plan, understands the mission and the objectives. Helping with the creation of the HLZs or LZs or drop zones or whatever it may be to do with air, and helping to coordinate the pre-designated strikes and any things that needs striking before you step off on the initiate call. Again, squad leaders know this as well, because you'll be stepping up if your platoon lead goes down or isn't there for an op. And then during the op, you're just maintaining situational awareness of the platoon's status, capabilities, and ammo. So you're positioned either, well, your position's kind of up to you as a platoon lead. You can either sit on the SBF with 1-3 and just watch it all, have good situational awareness there, or you can be located behind the two assault squads. So you're closer to the element, having more control over them, but you might be a little more distracted. And then you're working with the JTAC for infills, exfills, and then ISR and CAS. So make sure one of them is close to you. If you have two, or if you have one, just make sure they're close to you. Let's skip over JTAC because we don't have any JTACs here. Squad leader then. They're going to be looking at controlling the fire team leaders mainly, not worrying too much about the individuals in the squad, unless they're doing something really wrong. So it should give your fire team leaders a bit of leeway with that, but they should lead their squad with the platoon leader's intent in mind, and keeping the platoon leader informed of any information they need to know. So like where you are, your ACE reports, stuff like that. If you see any movement stuff, short halts, if you're in a movement, if you're at the front or even the rear, you need to stop for any reason, call up that short halt on the platoon net so everyone stops rather than being left behind, or you're at the front, you stop, and then everyone else bundles into you. Making sure your fire team leaders have control over their fire team and are listening to your orders as well, and know what the plan is. Try and avoid becoming engaged in a firefight. I know, Red, you're good at staying out of them. In that last training we did, you were
What does that mean?
not in a bad way, but in that last training you were kind of just in the middle of the.
I love the firefight.
You were in the middle of the two fire teams, kind of just watching and commanding, which is great to see.
I got in the firefight.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, make sure you're moving in accordance with the formations and the stuff we went over in the last training as well. And in the trainings we'll do about LDAs, stuff like that. In the op, you should be pretty much doing all of that. Yeah. Team leaders then. So you are in control of yourself and your 3 other members of your fire team. Doesn't matter what fire team you're in, you got 3 members under you. If you're in Alpha, you got that breacher. If you're in Bravo, you got that medic. If you're in Bravo, make sure that medic is not lingering behind. If they've got casualties, make sure they're taking them back to the CCP once they're stable enough and not doing all the medical there. If you're in Alpha, make sure that breacher's at the front with you guys, so he's ready to unlock any doors. Make sure he's got the right equipment, stuff like that. So yeah, again, you're doing formations, so your fire team wedges, stuff like that, when you're told to by your squad lead. If you're not told to do any formation by your squad lead, just check with your squad lead, ask them what formation you want to do, ask them what formation they want you to do. They might have forgotten to set one, stuff like that. Check your ROE, and if you are at a short halt or at the ORP, giving those sectors a responsibility to each of your guys if you need to. Or if you're in a building, hold up there, that kind of thing. You can read all of that stuff. I'm not going to go through every single bullet point. Yeah, you're going to be just controlling that fire team as best you can, communicating up to your squad lead, anything he needs to know about your fire team, through ACE reports and everything else. Comms, try and keep comms between you and the squad lead, unless it's really important. Then anyone else can pitch in. But yeah, keep it short and concise on radio. Talk to your fire teams indirect, on yelling or normal voice, whatever it may be, if it's not majorly important for everyone else in the squad. That brings us to the end of that document. Any questions on that? Take the silence as a no. Awesome. We head on over to the second document then. This is going to go through your SOPs and what to do during an op. Alright, Red. Right, yeah, so this is where we're going to be referencing the map as well, but so role of leadership is pretty much what makes us what we are. There's no standards without the leadership setting those standards. And then those standards apply to everyone. Make sure everyone below you is sticking to the same standard as you are, and everyone's got their own SOPs and sticking to those SOPs. So if your squad lead, platoon lead's not doing something you need to be doing, just let them know, hey, you should be doing that, or hey, you've missed this. In a nice way, obviously.
Let me know and I'll send your ass over to 1 2.
Then yeah, same going down. If your fire team leader's not doing something you should be, let them know. Obviously, if you're in the middle of a firefight, save it for after the firefight, or if it's a massive major problem, save it for debrief. If you can rant about it there, start an argument if you want to. It's entirely up to you. So yeah, knowledge then. So everyone should know the weapon system that they're running and the weapon system within the squad. So you should all be happy with what your squad's capable of, with the auto rifleman, your breaching tools, stuff like that. Your grenadiers, what their max range is, etc. So again, battle drills, kind of like the formation stuff. I'll run through it in a training, probably with the LDA. So that's your reactor contact, your ambushes, your platoon raids, your squad attack, your platoon attack, that kind of stuff. Just make sure where you fit into all of those things. If you're the assault element in a raid, if you're the SPF element in a raid, if you're a blocking position in a raid, or in a attack, whatever. Just know your position, what your squad's position is, or your fire team, what you're doing within that squad for that specific op. Make sure you've got knowledge based on that and employing those tactics. And that goes into understanding all SOPs. Then your ability. Again, we covered it in the succession of command, but understanding that role and preparing to fill it when you need to. Going on from there, we'll then go into the mission stuff. So your pre-mission, when you load on the server, first thing you're going to do, the second thing, because we're going to do brief in our normal kits with no kit, right? Red. We just.
That's what Chalky wanted. I mean, I'm down for it.
I mean, I don't mind either way. But yeah, whenever you do get your kit, make sure you're doing kit checks on you and your squad, fire team, whatever. So you could either do random kit checks, check one guy in your fire team, make sure he's adhering to the document for the loadout, make sure he's got all the stuff he needs to. I've had plenty of ops where people don't say they have flashbangs, don't say they have smokes, stuff like that. So yeah, just one guy. You don't have time to check everyone. Just check one randomly every op. And that will get people in the habit of thinking, oh, if he checks me, I don't have this. Then it'll go grab it. And then trainings as well. That's a great time to check that everyone's got the right kit. So if you do like a squad training, go through everyone's kit. You've got time there to go through, check everyone's kits, got what they need. They can ask questions about what you think they should carry. Like a demo guy might not know what to carry or what you need him to carry. You might think he has something he doesn't. Stuff like that. Radio checks. So make sure you're on 60. Make sure you're on 10, 120, 130, whatever it may be for your squad. Make sure your fire team leaders are on 60. Make sure all your fire team guys, your squad guys are on the short range. Make sure your medics are on 99. Just say, hey, you're on 99. I know that's one quite a few of them forget. When we only have one medic, we don't really need to do it. That's why they forget when there's more than one. Make sure everyone's checked in on that channel. So check in on 60. Make sure your team leaders have checked in on 60. Do a radio check down the list for your squad. Stuff like that. And then you should know your plan going in. So you have the op board and the op plan on the con op on the Discord before the operation day. Make sure you're reading that, understanding your role, understanding the role of your team, understanding everyone else's role that might affect you. If you have someone attached to you, like a machine gun team, for example, or AT, make sure you understand that they're attached to you. Stuff like that. If you're the demo team, make sure you understand what you're blowing up. If you're breaching a wall, understand where you're breaching that wall. And then you know you're assigned infill, exfil, chalk. So if you're in a Chinook, for example, you'll be bunched in with another squad. So that'll be your chalk. Or if you're in a vehicle, know which vehicle you're in. Again, PZ posture. So once you've done all that, once you're ready to step off, head over, if you've got helicopters, to your starting point. So that'll be either behind the helicopter, if the helicopter's at the base, or near where the platoon lead designates you to go. Everyone know what the PZ posture is?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Anyone that does? Cool. Awesome. All right, everyone stand up. Bit of interactivity. Standing up. Or you're all just deaf and silent on me. Who can hear me?
Everyone can say it, I think.
Are you sure?
I think Red's fallen asleep. Red's asleep. Look at him sitting there.
Alright, I'll do PZ posture for you two. Anyway, so yeah, if you stand in front of me, pretty much, in a line, face to the right. Who we got? Who are you? Your name's not coming up.
That's Daniels.
Daniels, if you head behind Collins. And then if you look, stand in a line behind him. So like right where I am. And then if you look to your right, the face right. And if you both crouch, Collins face forward to the wall. And I go this way. No, Daniel's still looking right. That's our PZ posture, yeah. This is going to be when we're waiting for a helo. If we're in the field, it's going to be like this. If we're just lined up at base, ready to get on that helo, we'll be facing forward. Happy days.
All right.
And then your leader of your chalk will be standing here waiting to count you on the helo. Reason we do that is so when you get on the helo, we know how many are leaving the base. And then presumably you'll be on the same helo back, or if you're not on the same helo, if you're on a different helo, they can then count your leaving, make sure you got the same number you're leaving with that you started with. So you're leaving anyone out there.
Short lead is it's usually going to be a squad lead, right?
It will be the platoon lead, JTAC.
Platoon lead. Okay.
If you're in a Chinook and there's one Chinook, it'll be the platoon lead and JTAC standing either side of the doorway. They both count you on. If you're in two Black Hawks, the platoon lead will be in one, JTAC will be in the other if they're going to the same place. If they're not, then it'll be the highest level of leadership. So yeah, your squad lead.
All right.
Yeah, and then if you're in the field, you have a PZ posture. So if you look at the map, there's multiple HLZs there. Obviously, you have your infill one, HLZ Matilda. And then exfil, you have 3 different ones, depending on what the situation dictates. So these are all preset. Pilots know where these are. You know where these are. It just depends which one you're going to take, depending on the mission and where it goes. So say we're going to exfil from HLZ Matilda, Amelia even to the north. Your platoon lead on map will just do a simple dot, put PZ, and then they'll draw a line on the direction they want you to be lined up. So you'll be lined up along that line. Your front man will be facing northwest, and then alternating left and right off of that. And the rear man will be facing the rear.
Okay.
Just so you've still got that 360 security, you're just ready to board that helo when it comes in. Helos don't get called in until everyone's set in that posture. You count the guys on the ground in that line. And then you're making sure that's what it should be to what was when you first got there. And then you call in the helo once you've confirmed that number. Once you're on the helo then, or as you board the helo, you're counting again, just making sure you're leaving no one behind at the PZ. And once everyone's on, then take off. Easy peasy. So, yeah, that's why you do that at the start and at the end. Just make sure your team is in that posture. If someone's not there, not doing it, just call them over. Make sure they're doing it. You usually have your squad lead first, then your Alpha Fire Team, then your Bravo Fire Team behind him. It doesn't matter too much. Actions on target then. So once you get off that helicopter, you're obviously doing your security around it. Just know what your squad looks like in the dark. So you've all got different patches on. It's pretty simple. Just know what the different call signs mean, what the different squad call signs are, stuff like that. Know what your team's wearing. So if you got helmets, boonie hats, caps, whatever, make sure you can PID them. Because one guy might be wearing a baseball cap and then the enemy's wearing baseball caps. Make sure you've identified whatever bits of kit he's got that called him out from the enemy. Noise and light discipline. So make sure you're not chatting away if you're trying to infill at night. Keep it quiet. No noise on radio unless it's urgent. And then light discipline as well. Make sure you're not discharging your flashlights or lasers indiscriminately without the need, because they might have nods, might not have nods. And then again, they can see any of that you might not want going off. Make sure you're maintaining the correct spacing as you're moving through your formations. Went over spacings in the last training. And then same with formations and movement techniques. Make sure you're forming them correctly. Pretty simple stuff. Just doing what you're told and then telling your guys. Just correcting it if it goes wrong as well. That's the key thing. Making sure the guys below you are doing what you need to do. And then if they do something wrong, don't just look at them and think, oh, they're doing it wrong. Correct it. Again, on the approach, so you're using those RPs and the RPs. So as you pass the RP, you're calling up to your squad leader. Squad leader is calling up to platoon. And then ORP, you're getting into your OOP formation, which I didn't cover, but I will cover next time. Maintaining situational awareness within the element and the next level up. So that's calling out the RPs and the RPs, stuff like that. Ace reports, if you need to do them on the approach. If you veered off course somewhere. If you're the front element and you're following their route planned and you need to go off course, just let the platoon lead know. Let the squad lead know if you're the fire team, whatever it is. Just pass it up the chain of command if you need to do anything like that. And short holds. And then reacting appropriately to LDAs, ODAs, any visual contacts, and reacting to contact accordingly. So again, like I said, the LDA isn't marked. You just need to react appropriately to it. You'll see it in the plan. Your platoon lead will know it is there, so he's expecting that to be there. So just react accordingly, which will cover how to react another time. And then maintain security at all times. Make sure your fire team within their formation have got their right sectors of fire. Not everyone's looking to the front, moving forward. The rear guy is checking back sometimes. The guy to the left is checking left and right. It's checking right. You see a lot of guys, everyone's just focused forwards, looking forwards, especially when you're in a file. Then moving to being on target. So using your BPs, mainly for platoon lead, to make sure he's marking them on the map. If you haven't got a BP, ask your platoon lead why don't. There might be a reason. You might have the numbers. Say you've only got one squad, you can't then split up into BPs and assault the objective at the same time. Same with containment, stuff like that. Make sure you're adhering to the phase lines, not going past them, unless you're cleared to. Calling up that you're at a phase line, calling that you're at the LCC, then your platoon lead can call for that initiate call for the SBF, stuff like that. If you're in 1-3, none of you are, but if you want to join 1-3, so we'll be checking about TRPs, maybe marking those up, going through them, and CCPs for your medics, and anyone like that. Make sure everyone knows where the CCP is as leadership. So if a guy goes down or a guy needs to go back to a CCP, you know where it is. You can tell him to go there if he doesn't know himself. And then again, maintaining that situational awareness, so calling up different things when you hit different targets, points, and stuff like that. Put that on there twice. That's how important it is. Again, maintaining accountability for your sensitive items and special equipment. So if you're doing SSE on an objective, make sure you're clearing that building fully first, and then doing SSE after. Or if you have to clear a whole objective, clear the objective, then go back and do SSE. Just make sure you make a note when you're going through it the first time if you see it. It's there. Or call it up as you pass it. Special equipment again. If you have breaching kit, if you have a ladder, per se, you take it with you for the objective. You assault the objective with it. Make sure you're picking it back up if you need to use it again. Stuff like that. And then obey orders from platoon lead, squad lead, stuff like that. Obviously, if it puts you massively in danger or you massively disagree with it, you can put your input in. But at the end of the day, they are in the leadership position. You can go over it in debrief and discuss it there. And then everyone will learn for next time. Everyone happy with that? Cool. And then yeah, keep a count of ammo expenditure. So everyone in your fire team, squad, platoon should be keeping at least a mag or at least 100 rounds for their auto rifleman for the exfil. So don't burn through all your ammo at the objective. You never know what you're going to do at the exfil. You might get more contact, and if no one's got any ammo, then you're a bit screwed there. And then pass ace reports on. Again, like we covered earlier. Exfil. Yeah, so don't get complacent. Keep that extra magazine on you. To keep a round count yourself throughout the whole mission. Don't waste all your ammo. And then all the same prior rules apply. Your situational awareness, your movement techniques, your formations, all your kit and equipment. And then, like went over earlier, your proper pickup zone, your PZ posture. If applicable, if you're taking a helo out. If you need to hold security on a objective area on a building, you're going to stay in that building, obviously, and not do a PZ posture. You'll just all file out that building together when that helo comes in. But primarily, you're aiming to move away from that objective before you get picked up, because you don't know what QRF's coming in, and then might shoot down the helo, stuff like that. Might be too hot for the helo to land if you're still on that objective. So try and move away from that objective and then get picked up. Obviously, if time is of the essence, so you need speed, you can get that helo coming in to the objective if you really need it. And then final point I have for tonight is debrief. So when you get back to base, you're passing on any sensitive material to the Zeus or the mission maker, stuff like that. If you've taken any pictures and ops, make sure they go in the correct channels in the Discord. And then participate in the after action review as leadership. So it will usually go platoon lead, squad leads, and then sometimes team leads, depending on how many numbers we have. And then it opens up to everyone. Just make sure you're putting 2 cents in. Commend the people when they did well. If they're points that needs picking up on, say them as well. Don't just stay silent and think it was rubbish up, or people could have done things better. If it's a point just for your squad as well, you have your own squad chats. Feel free to drop it in there. If you need to go over something in training again, so like if you're doing really bad in CQB and you've had to do reminders mid-op, put it in the chat. Say, hey, maybe we should go over some CQB training at some point. Not taking a example from Etch at all. Cool.
What, huh? I literally, I missed the last 15 minutes. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. I think Red has also died, and Hades might exist, I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. I've recorded it so you can listen back. I know it's a lot of just me rambling anyway. So
a lot of the stuff that was preempting, like up into like assault, splitting phase lines, I've seen it before, you know. So
yeah, exactly.
me, which is nice.
But yeah, just pretty much gone through the documents. That's about it. Just explain them a bit more in detail.
The thing that fucks with me a little bit is how we do our 2 squads. I've got it now, but like yesterday, when we were on DCO, I assigned red team, blue team, and I assigned the medic with my 2 IC as their own team.
Okay, good.
Now I know not to do that.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. That is everything. If anyone's got any questions, if you want me to run through anything again, Etch, feel free.
Hold on, I did take notes.
You know PZ posture?
Yeah, PC posture, yeah.
Cool. I thought you would have.
Let's see. Here's a question, actually.
Go for it.
So we have a very detailed, breakdown of Objective Charlie, right?
Yes.
Let's say, complete hypothetical scenario. Objective Charlie is 100% a dry hole. There's no enemy occupation. There's nothing, right?
Yep.
And someone says, oh shit, we've hit the wrong objective. It's actually objective Bravo, and they know we've hit objective Charlie, and we don't have time to make up a detailed plan like that. What is generally our planning if we don't have time to make a plan, so to speak? Like, what's the idea?
I mean, just look at the terrain details. You can still set an SPF up.
Quick actionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not marking every single building. You could do sectors, so you could say this is your 10 series, this is your 20 series here, kind of thing. You can still set phase lines. It's pretty quick to do.
Okay.
Yeah, most things are pretty quick to set up. Still, so you can still set BPs and stuff.
Sure. Okay. I was just wondering, just
Yeah.
in like an emergency scenario, do we still conform to the idea of setting up our phase lines and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah, if the objective is big enough, then definitely.
Okay.
I feel like there was an actual briefing.
Sorry, Red.
I sleep through all of it and wake it up at the end.
It's all good. I record.